Okay, so welcome everybody. So we are going to talk about how to set up your project for the game that you're about to make. So first thing we're going to look at is we need to add a background. So first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to come down here where it says stage, and I'm going to choose. So this time I'm going to choose a backdrop from the library, and there's a whole bunch of different themes. I am going to go space, and I'm going to choose this planet. I'm going to click OK, and I am going to also choose an additional background just in case, and this one I'm just going to choose actual in space. Okay, so I'm going to start here on this one. So notice you have three backdrops, which represents your blank, your space, and your stars. And what I want to do is I want to make sure that the first, the stars one shows up first. So I'm going to go back to the script area, the events, which is when clicked with the green flag. So once I move the when clicked over, I am going to go to looks, and I am going to make sure that we switch to the right backdrop. So the green arrow is kind of like your start button. So if I went back and I was here and then I click start, notice that it switches back to the background that I have set, which is right here. Okay. So the next thing that I want to do is I want to make sure that I get the cat and remove it. And now I'm going to add my new sprites. So the first thing I'm going to do is I am going to choose a sprite from the library, and I am going to look at the space theme, since that kind of works for what I want. And I am going to choose this robot villain. Although he doesn't look like a villain, but he's going to be the villain. He's a crazy robot. And of course he can fly in space. So the next thing we're going to do is we are going to want to choose a file from the internet. So first thing I need to go is I need to go to google.com. I'm going to choose images up here, so I can search images. Next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to search Space Ranger. And I'm also going to choose PNG. So PNG files for images allow you to not have a background. So let's just say that, let's find one that works, that's semi-cartoonish. So we're going to choose Space Ranger Nala. Okay, so when I get the file open, what I want to make sure I do is I make sure I control click. So you got to hold the control button down and click. And you're going to save image as, and you are going to either leave it or shorten it depending on what I did, or delete it all and retype it. So whatever makes it easier to find for you. Just make sure to save to the desktop, click save, and now I'm going to go back to scratch, click upload file, click my Space Ranger, choose open, and throw it in there. Okay, so the next thing that we want to do is we want to set each character as far as their starting location when the game starts. So we are going to go to events. Notice I have these clicked down here, so you got to do it for each character, each sprite. So I'm going to add a when clicked, and then I am going to go and make sure that he has a starting location. So go to X, and you have coordinates. So notice I'm on the Space Ranger right now, and he or she is at 141, -75. Okay, so if I move my mouse around, notice that down here the numbers change. So these are coordinates, a coordinates based game area. So I'm going to do the same thing with robot 1. I'm going to go over to events. I am going to choose when the green flag is clicked, which is once again your starting button, and then I am going to start here. So now if I decide, I accidentally moved them around, but when I click start, I am going to have them go right back to where they started. So that is kind of the basic setup of how to get your game kind of started. So once you're to this point, you're kind of ready to go, but you have to get everything in there, the backdrops and your sprites kind of all set up before you begin. Last thing I want you to do is I want you to name it. So we're going to call this Space Ranger Battles. And then I'm going to file and I'm going to save now. Make sure you save now a bunch of times. This is not a program that auto-saves like you most likely are probably used to. So you're going to have to click save now often. Okay? Good luck.